Fresh Pitchfork founder here, and today's video is on audiences and customer segments. So before I dive into that, make sure I tell you that check out our yesterday's video on our company Fresh Pitchfork and our aims on how we're going to revolutionize the food and grocery industry. So back to your audience and customer segments. How can you find the best way to target your customer? Well, there are a few ways you can do this, and you can do this by following your user behavior, or as well as your competitor behavior, or doing your own market or industry research, following other case studies, and even sociology research can be helpful with getting to know a certain customer segment. So as you can see, I have quite a bit of notes here that I wanted to include in this. I will definitely recommend some sales and marketing books when you're going to try to market to your customers. The three that I definitely recommend would be Expert Secrets by Russell Brunson. I always switch him up with Richard Bronson. Influence, which I'm not even sure, I didn't look up the title or the author of that book. Influence was a great book a couple years ago. It was one of the best on marketing. And of course, Seth Godin, and I'll recommend Purple Cow. So those are some books that you can read to get ready to actually write copy for your marketing campaigns to your customers. But before you do all that, you're going to want to know who your customer is. So there's something called a customer persona, which really harnesses in on the demographics of a potential customer segment. Now, your demographics are your customer's age, their gender, their education level, their income, their job, those type of things. Even their location is a demographic. There is another thing called psychographics, which focuses more on not who your customer is, but why they are your customer. In psychographics, I'll get into that a little bit better with a better example. But some more ways to actually get some good feedback from your customers is to do quantitative or qualitative studies or surveys. So you actually spend some money and actually advertise a survey to customer segments and ask them very specifically what their interests or needs are. This could be a very broad quantitative survey where it's just multiple choice. You're trying to get a lot of feedback to get as much information as you can. And a qualitative survey is more of an open-ended survey where you actually let them answer your questions in length. So the quantitative, probably more of a multiple choice. So conduct some research about the market, your product, your services, other competitors' products and services. And this is a good way to get to know your audience. So, another way that you can follow user behavior is there's this new software out called social listening, and this actually helps you zero in on conversations on social media that are talking about your industry or your product or a competitor, and you can actually hear what those people are saying. It's a very useful tool that's being highly used nowadays. You can really zero in on your audience. Of course, if you have your site and you already have traffic, you can analyze that through Google Analytics and actually see what your customers are doing on your website. This is a very good, useful tool to track user behavior, and something that you should be knowing about and using as well when you are ready. So besides a person's age, sex, and education and income and their demographic, you can also find something about their temperament, their sensitivity, or their curiosity. This is more of their psychographic. So to get into a good example of psychographics, I would want to use a candle example. It would be a perfect example. So, candle is definitely mostly affiliated with women when you consider a customer segment. And two women might buy the same candle, and they might be totally different demographics. You want to know why they buy the candles. So you might actually look into why your customers buy candles. Some customers might do it for home decoration. Some might buy them to give away as gifts, and many might just really enjoy the fragrance. So you should really know why your customers are buying your product specifically. If you're selling the point that you have an awesome wick in your candle and it makes it burn so much slower and actually heightens the scent, well, if most of your customers are buying for decoration because they love how your candles look, then you might want to increase more copy on decoration. You can do that. You can actually find this information out through surveys. After you get some customers, you can just ask them, what's important to them? What do they do in their free time? Why do they use your free product? What experience do they want? You can actually ask people these things and they will give you their information freely. So along with these things, to get a wider view, you would probably want to do some keyword research and see what your customers are typing in and searching for online. You can actually monitor reviews on top of zeroing in with social media, social listening software. You can actually just check out the reviews and see what people are saying about competitors' products. Now, to get back to your competitors and how you can actually see what's working for them, is you can actually see their ads. There's actually websites that actually, this is all they do is compare certain companies' ads because they know their competitors want to know what they're doing. And they can even show the success of those ads as well. This is a great way to see what's working right now, what type of issues they're addressing with their customer segments, and you can piggyback on that, so to say, and try and test whatever works, what will work for you. So there also are non-competitors that you can see how they're advertising to their customer segments. There might even be some overlap with customer segments, and you can see how they're advertising their message or positioning their brand. These are just a few ways to actually narrow in on your customer segment. I will definitely stress on creating a customer persona, and you should create as many as you can and actually know how to talk to each one. You're going to be talking to each one very specifically, and create as many ad campaigns or ad sets for each customer segment. Now, I will add before I go some very important things from the business model generation book, and that there is their customer groups okay, so let me just say what they're saying. Customer groups represent separate segments if their needs require and justify a distinct offer. They are reached through different distribution channels. That might separate your customer segment. They require different types of relationships. They have substantially different profitabilities. That's another important one. And they are willing to pay for different aspects of the offer. These are different ways that you can branch your customers and categorize them to better define the certain types of customers that are going to be coming to your company. I appreciate you guys watching this video. Tomorrow's video will actually be on ads. I have to get going on my next 30 days and actually creating what I'm going to do for you guys for the content. As of right now, I'm just winging it, going by day. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Let me know. Drop a comment. Thanks for following Fresh Pitchfork Founder.